Hello and welcome to this video where I'm going to look at simplifying a polynomial by combining like terms. The polynomial that you'll see up there on the screen has 6 terms in it. There's a whole bunch, and what we want to do is we want to find, is there any like terms which we can combine together and simplify it so that there's not as many terms. If we do that, it's going to simplify our calculations and make it a lot easier to solve when that time comes. But for right now, we're just going to look at simplifying by combining like terms. Let's look through those 6 terms there and see, are there any like terms? The first one that I'm going to notice is there is a 2xy, that's the very first term we have, and there's a negative 4yx, these two right here. And you might be like, but they're not like because one is xy and one is yx. In fact, when it comes to multiplying, the order doesn't matter as long as we have the same number of each variable. So in these two cases, we have 1x and 1y, which means that these are like terms. And when we combine it together, the 2 and the negative 4, we have to remember the negative in there, combine to be negative 2xy. I'm going to usually write out my terms with the alphabetical order, so x then y. If you want to do it other ways, you can do that too. It doesn't really matter as long as you have 1x and 1y inside of the term. All right, the second one I'm going to look at, I'm going to go to the 3x squared. Okay, that's our next term in our polynomial. Are there any x squared terms? Well, I'm seeing those two. So 3x squared and positive 5x squared. And when we combine them together, we have two positives, which means that we're going to have more positive, and we're going to have 8x squared as our combined or like term. Finally, there are two y squared terms. We have a negative 2y and a positive 2y, so those two right there. And when we combine those together, it gives us 0. Now, we're going to want to add all these terms together. So when we have a 0 term, it's really nothing, or 0y squared, which is nothing, or 0. We can get rid of it, and we don't have to write it in there, unless that's the only term we have, and then our answer is 0. So when we combine our terms together, we have an 8x squared and a negative 2xy, which the order doesn't matter. We can switch them around. I just like to put the negative inside the polynomial instead of on the outside. It just is helpful, at least for myself. I find it to be cleaner, but that is your choice. I hope this has helped you taking a look at combining like terms, especially when we're not just dealing with an x or a y and something a bit bigger, and how all we need to do is look at the coefficients of the like terms when we're combining. Have a wonderful rest of the day. All the best as you work through your assignments.